Hey everyone, welcome back to Immediate Movie Reactions. I'm here after seeing Mickey 17. This is the new Bong Joon Ho film, who is the guy who did Parasite and Snowpiercer and Mother, and it stars Robert Pattinson as well as Toni Collette and Mark Ruffalo. And boy, this is a tough one because I would say of the movies over the last year that I've been most excited for, this is it, right? This was at the top of my list. I love Parasite. I love the previous films. This one I don't think holds up. Robert Pattinson, I don't know why people are still on this. He was a sparkly vampire because he's made some pretty standout films. I think his Batman was absolutely, maybe he wore too much makeup, right? He was a little too The Cure for me, but I think that was one of the most amazing films. I thought, he was great as Batman. In this, he does a very good job with some very poor material, unfortunately. What this movie is Pattinson plays Mickey. He's the 17th in a line of reprinted bodies. He's sort of a dumb guy. I guess the whole movie is kind of a comedy, but it's also not. And that's what is cool about Korean films, is that they can blend so many genres. Unfortunately, this one, I think, in the translation and being a Western film, it just doesn't hold up. So it's kind of funny, but it's kind of serious, and it never really feels either funny enough or serious enough or important enough. And so Mickey is this, like I said, this dumb guy who signs up to be an expendable, as Mark Ruffalo, who is a fake Trump. And I'm sorry, I am as anti-MAGA as can be, but this fucking performance is stupid. It is silly. It is just a caricature. Toni Collette is there for really no reason at all. Mark Ruffalo does weird squinting, and he does a Trump voice, and like it's all just silly. And what's happening is we're at the end of the lifespan of the world, of Earth. I'm not sure, but they get their people, and they're all, I think in like 15 years, we're going to see this historical look back on films and TV shows of this and think, why are all these idiots wearing red hats? And it's an allusion to MAGA and Trump and all that sort of thing. And that's exactly what they do in this. There's nothing really subtle or clever or inventive about it. And so they get on the ship and they're going to a planet. At one point, Ruffalo actually says, we're going to a pure white planet of all pure humanity, or some crap like that, right? And so that's the level of complexity and subtlety that we have in this film. Mickey is basically a human experiment, and he gets sent out to test new nerve gas because they're developing nerve gas along this 4.5-year journey. I don't know. Steven Yeun is in this film, and he is Mickey's friend, but not his friend. He's the one who got him in the trouble, and somehow he gets on the ship as well because they can just go sign up for duties and then whatever they sign up for. Mickey is the only expendable. He's the only one because humanity has also banned this printing, but then they're allowing it. None of it makes a whole lot of freaking sense. And what happens is it tries to blend all these genres. Like, it tries to be sexy, but it's not really sexy. It tries to be funny, but it's not really funny. It tries to make religious statements. It tries to make political commentary. Does it talk about, what is it like to die? People ask Mickey this throughout the film. What is it like to die? We never get a real exploration of that. Like, so many missed opportunities in this film for it to basically end with them ending on this planet. Somehow they get on this ice planet, which is Niflheim. I'm sorry, if they're going to a Norse-inspired world, why not Jotunheim, which is the frost realm? And I know I'm being a little bit nerdy here, but why the hell Niflheim? That makes zero sense at all. And so they get there, and then there are these aliens that are like alien parasite bug type things, but they're actually like good, nice, and sentient, and they save Mickey for some reason, who knows. But then, God, it's such a mess. I'm sorry. I really, really, really want to love this film, and there are parts of it that I really like, but I think in the long run, it just does not hold up. It doesn't work. I might want to see it again, but I also can't, I don't know if I can stomach so Pattinson does this voice as Mickey 17. So of course something goes wrong, right? And then he gets reprinted. I don't know why there's not some sort of monitor to show when the other Mickey dies for when they decide to create the new body. And then they go into this whole tangent about how you can't have multiples, and this isn't like a Michael Keaton multiplicity sort of thing, where it's kind of funny and they're going to explore what is it like to have multiple clones. No, instead they turn this into this weird Y tu mamá también, where Mickey, who is also like sought after by all the hot women on the ship, even though he's a really dumb guy and like has no discernible qualities or characteristics that would make him desirable, then she's going to have sex with all three of them. Oh, and then there's also a whole drug running. Steven Yeun shows up randomly throughout this film to like be a drug seller or to fight off sort of mafia hitmen or whatever. It's so much of this movie makes so little sense. It looks good. It looks good at times. It just can't really hold it together. And I feel really disappointed saying that. I think Pattinson is fine. I think that Ruffalo is a joke. Colette has this this running joke about making sauce. I don't quite understand. Like, is that another sexual innuendo? It's really, really weird. It ends with this whole thing where they develop this technology to speak to the aliens because they've captured a baby. And then it's like brings in all the xenophobia, and the Ruffalo Trump is going to go out and get a missile, rocket launcher all of them, or then they're going to nerve gas them or whatever. And the last probably 20 to 30 minutes of this film is them mansplaining, and it moves away from Mickey. Like, Mickey becomes such a secondary character in this whole thing that it's disappointing. I wanted some, like I said, I wanted some exploration. I wanted to know, what does it feel like to die again and again? What is it doing on his psyche? Instead of just continuing to be this dumb guy, and then Mickey 18 comes into play, and he's kind of a sociopath, but only because he's willing to stand up for himself. And none of them are likable. I don't understand. We go through the 1, 2, 3, 4, and it gets repetitive. We're seeing them reprinted, and it's not even like really cool creative deaths over and over again. Characters, like I said, Steven Yeun drops in and out. There's someone else who kind of develops this program, and she's there for a brief period of time, and then she's gone for a while. Man, so much of it just didn't work, unfortunately. And I think that this is sort of like a John Woo when John Woo came over, even though Face Off is sort of an iconic, tentpole of Western culture and film. I don't think that any of his Western movies, the Mission Impossible, whatever, held up to the standards of, say, Hard Boiled. And I think it's the same thing. I think Joon Ho, unfortunately, in this translation over to a Western film, didn't work. Now, I was reading a little bit about this. There are apparently two versions of this film. The current theatrical version is the Joon Ho film, and the other version is a studio. And there's an argument going back and forth over which one tested better with audiences, and so on and so forth. And they're throwing numbers out and calling each other liars. So I don't think they're going to be working together again, which is probably good. But I am interested to see, if this comes to streaming, what version we get. I think we're probably going to see the studio version when it comes to streaming. And that means that there'll be able to be a release of the Joon Ho director's cut at some point, or the theatrical edition, whatever they're going to call it. Maybe that's better. Maybe it's not. As it stands, I think this movie is fine. At best, it's fine. See it, stream it, or skip it. This was a movie that I was like, I'm just going to say see it, right? This is absolutely, we need to see it. I want to see more of this type of film. I want to see more Korean and more Asian films becoming mainstream. I don't think so. I think this is a stream it. I think this is at best a stream it. I think you could skip this and not miss anything. But there are some interesting ideas, I guess. So it is worth a stream. But again, I want to know which version you're going to get streaming. So if you have any concern to that, go see it now. Otherwise, if you have seen it, please let me know what you think. Comment below, like, share, subscribe, do all that sort of thing. And man, how really disappointed. Anyway, I will see you after the next movie.